Today I'd like to speak in brief about the third luthier knife I made, which is this one here. I call it a luthier knife because I learned how to make this kind of knife from a luthier, a maker of stringed instruments. And for blade stock, it uses a straight razor, such as this. Good old Solingen steel. I grind the core out very slowly and painstakingly from one of these old razors. And the blade I make the blade out of as much of the length of the razor as I can. So if I put these side by side, you can see that there's probably going to be at least the same amount of blade inside the handle as there is exposed. The motive for this being that we want a small blade, a very small blade with a big handle. You can put a lot of power into this tiny blade, and as you sharpen it away and it gets shorter, you can remove some of the handle to reveal more blade, and that way it'll last for years. And so the extra big handle is also to accommodate that, as well as just to have a nice big handle. So I'll show you how it is in my hand. I have large hands. That is about a 9.5-inch handspan. And although it's a very slender handle, I can certainly get a good grip on it. So I call this my Ettrick because I found out about these pocket knives that are also called Ettrick. Well, they're the Ettrick, I guess. Mine is something else. But it's must be some kind of old Warncliffe Whittler pattern. That this is a Michael May example, I believe. I beg your pardon, this is the Andy Wright. And you can see there's not that much left of the blade after I started eyeing it up, and this was before I had a carbide hammer. I said, man, this thing is just all over the place. So in an effort to true it up, I ground away half the blade, which to start out with was more like this one, which is the Michael May. I believe he's Michael. So yeah, that became that. And this really whittles, because it's a slip of a thing. It just slides right in there. So yeah, this one is a similar concept. For fun and size comparison, I thought I would show you this Rolls-Royce mini Swiss Army knife. No lanyard, ring, or there we go, that's pretty much right on top there. Now the thickness is going to be different, right? One of these guys will give you a bit of flex. There's not much flex on this. Well, there you go, actually. Focusing in, you can see. Focusing in, there's a little flex. There is also a little flex in the handle, theoretically, since it's just a clamshelled piece of cherry burl, which is an experiment I glued with automotive epoxy. Very bad idea. It doesn't, it's like a self-inflating plastic that is impossible to cut, sand, or anything. So that was a learning experience. And yeah, well, since I pulled out these Ettricks, just also to kind of make a point, you look at the size of the blade on that versus the handle, and now you look at the size of this blade and the size of the handle, So, you know, all being equal, one of these is going to whittle better, and it'll be this one, because you can put more power into that handle. But this is fun. I spent a good few hours sharpening this as well. Don't know what it's got on it there. Some schmoo. But yeah, this is a great whittler too. It's the case. True sharp. With a TB on it. And what would I use this knife for? Well, here's an example. I like using knives to make knives, so I will cut around this pencil line, and then I will cut in, and I will make space for the tang of a buck pursuit. Stick the other half on, which will be flat and thinner. Put some lilac pins in there or something, I don't know, bit of a bone collar. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, the Ettrick.